Hi guys, it's Mike here from KS Bushcraft Down Under. Today I thought I'd share with you my loadout on my Exotac hobo fishing reel. So I've got a few different hobo reels. Some of them are basically just for salt water with heavy line on them. Others are sort of general purpose. And what they share in common, there's a lot of things I like about them. I've had this one for donkey's years. Is managing the tackle. So basically most of them have the tackle stored inside, which is really handy, but it's really difficult to get it at all. So that's a pretty light loadout, and it's good enough for most of the fishing that I do. So what I did, I created a dream box some time ago to complement all my hobos, so that's a pretty good idea. The problem with this is it's easy when I'm doing it on the table, but if you have to change your hook in that when you're out in the bush, you've got to tip it onto your hand, work out what you want, and tip it back in. It's difficult. And when you get home after a trip, are you disciplined enough to go through it all and work out which hooks you've lost, what needs replacing? Sometimes I'm not so good at that. So what I've done with the Exotac, now this is a bit better because it has a larger diameter, a bit shallow, so you can sort of fav around in here a bit better than most hobo reels. So on the back here I've got some 15mm PVC. It's just pressed on, so that often when you're hobo fishing you're catching a grasshopper or a worm, so you need some form of tube. I've used 35mm film containers, snap lock bags, because I don't like putting worms in my pocket. So in the back here I've got an additional float, a couple of lures, nothing out of the ordinary. Now on the outside of the reel, apart from my standard hairband, doesn't need it but I like it anyway, is a trout magnet jig and a float. So this is one of my favourite exploration rigs. If I come to a bit of a pond and a stream, I can just float this across and see if I get any reactions. So that's good. Now on the inside, it's a bit like the TARDISes. I've got all these layers. Basically it's just regular tape and some notebook paper that's a little bit thicker, so it's just glued on. In here I've got a selection of trout magnet tails, 2 additional jig heads, so that's good. And below that I've got a pile of swivels, some snap swivels if I happen to be needing lures, some 308 ones if I'm going to make some form of drop shot rig, a card with really tiny hooks. So I've got some tiny ones there, like fly fishing hooks, so if you need to catch some live bait, that's the go. And then I step up in hook sizes from sort of the small, medium and large. Now if you look at some of the things like the Best Glide Survival Kit, you'll get an idea on the sizes of hooks that you'll want. I'll put a couple of screenshots in. And a whole pile of sinkers. So that there is a pretty comprehensive kit. Now the kit it comes with is not bad. It comes with 2 floats. Now these floats require you to pass the line through. The trout magnet ones have a split in the side so you can put them on and off easier. Really, bushcrafting, you can make a float pretty easy. Now the other option is to put things in little plastic bags. Now I have on my big kit tried using safety pins. The only problem is you tend to get everything. So that's sort of not being the world's best idea. And I'm going to swap that over to the paper card. So these are pretty cool. So you can go along with all your tackle and go, oh yeah, I need that, that and that. And when you're in the field, you just pick up the one you want. Now if you drop that, it's not gone. It's bright yellow paper. You'll retrieve it. You drop that hook into the grass, it's gone. So just tears out of the back, easy as. The other ones will stay in place and you're away. So I'm going to try these circle hooks. apparently they do less damage. So that's cool. Now, I just traced around this aluminium pill bottle, so I'll be able to put the unwanted layers, if I wish, into this and use this as the tackle box and possibly bait container. Most of the survival kits have some form of artificial bait. It's not that common here in Australia, but I managed to get these trout gulps, nibbles, and they look quite good. And these salmon egg clusters. I may be able to cut them apart, as long as we don't really have that many salmon here in Australia. Anyway guys, I thought I'd show you that loadout. I think it's a really good addition to the Exotac reel. If you like the content I create, feel free to subscribe, it helps me out greatly, and we'll catch you next time.